Behind the Lines. I'm Diane Dayton. Today we're going to talk about Olive Branch of Hope and the difference that this is making in our community. With us right now we have the president and the CEO, Ojoma Edeh Herr. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
We also have the communication specialist, board member, let me get the whole name right, Dr. Edward Paul Fleming Sr., otherwise known as Dr. Ed.
That's right, that's right. Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
You're welcome.
So Olive Branch of Hope, my understanding is it is assisting adults with intellectual disabilities and or autism to be integral members of society.
Yes.
What does that really look like, Ojoma?
Well, what it looks like is individuals with intellectual disability and autism have a lot to offer. However, this blockage, this roadblock that the society has put against them when they see them that they look different or talk different, we're trying to break through for that so that their skills will be known to the community. That's number one, so that they become as independent as they can, number two, and so that they can be contributing members of the society as well to the maximum extent possible, because they truly have the ability to do it. If it just seems like if I am talking to you and I don't speak English, that does not mean I'm stupid.
Right.
But if you know my language and you start to communicate with me, then you know my intelligence. That's really what it is. Individuals with intellectual disabilities are very, very smart. And a lot of them are gifted in different areas. We just need to go past this appearance and know who they are. And we will find out, and they will be contributing members of our society.
Wow. Well, I know with Olive Branch of Hope, you have many different types of individuals that come in. Right, Dr. Ed?
That's correct.
So what do we see? Tell me a little bit about that.
Our starting point is a biblical foundation that every person has been created in the image of God and has value. Many times in our society they're ostracized or ignored, but we believe that they have value and we want to be a part of their life in helping them to develop to be all that they can be, that God wants them to be.
Wow. And each individual has their own journey with this. So how is this set up and how does this work when you have somebody coming in? What's the process?
Well, we take one of the things that special education do, one size doesn't fit all. And when I teach my students in the classroom, I say, the size I wore yesterday doesn't fit today.
Okay.
And to make a point, they come differently. So we do what is called intake. We meet with them, we see them, and the first question is, can we help them?
Yes.
And if we can help them, we'll discuss with the parents. Parents can come, be part of us anytime. And you're going to be meeting one of the parents shortly. And that journey, I hope she tells her story. Because the first time we're supposed to be starting with her loved one, she said, do you want me to be in a dining room? Do you want me to be hiding somewhere? I said, no, you go home. And she looked at me, what do you mean? You go home. And when we're done, we'll bring. So every individual is different. But what makes us successful is the parents that want to work with us. And that is the key to our success. We are good at what we do. So what? We're supposed to be good at what we do.
Right.
But if we don't have support of the parents behind us, we are not successful.
Right.
And that's really one of the reasons why you're going to be really fascinated to hear from parents' viewpoint in a little bit.
It's a real partnership.
It is a partnership.
Because you have the person there with you, and then when they leave that setting, they are at home.
Yes.
So you've got to have that family buy-in, right, Dr. Ed?
Yeah, it's a team effort, and that's a key word. We work together. Another thing that we do is we have to be like a bungee cord. We have to be flexible.
Okay.
Because each day is different, each situation is different, each of our participants are different. And so we always have to be flexible and patient, and as it were, roll with the punches, but always keeping in mind it's their success that's most important to us.
That is correct.
Yeah. Every single day is different, isn't it?
Every single day is different. You never know how they're coming in.
Right.
Some may have a good night's sleep and happy and ready to do. some may not.
Right.
And you're like, okay, how am I supposed to get these people to interact with the community? We actually go into the community. We go to the library, we do bowling, we go to that fish pool, we go to different areas, we go to the mall, and we don't really have money to buy anything, but if you're ready to talk to the cashier,
Yes.
and pay for it and get receipt, I'll pay for it.
Okay,
And that's how we do it. Every day is different. Every moment is different.
Yeah.
And you have to be ready to be on top of your toes and all that. I told them it's not a work that you're going to be physically exhausted, but you're going to be mentally exhausted.
Yeah.
And it's true.
So who are the people that actually do the interaction and the work on an everyday basis with these individuals?
All of us.
Okay.
We don't have president or CEO there. We don't have communication, and I think that's why Dr. Edeh was talking about trying to make a joke. I think I should let him explain. All of us, everybody does everything, and let him explain his responsibility.
Okay. Because there's some interesting backgrounds with the
Yes.
people that work there too.
Yes.
Please do tell us, Dr. Ed.
One of the things we want to do is what they want to do,
Okay.
so that they feel important and they can progress. And so one day, one of our participants, he likes to take the trash and put it together and go out, but he said, Dr. Ed, I want you to go with me to take the trash out. And of course I said, okay, well that's now a daily, regular thing that I do. I am the custodian
you are the
with this
custodian.
participant. So yeah.
Okay. All right. So how many people do you actually have working there, and what are their backgrounds, Ojoma?
Well, we usually have more staff than we have participants. That's our principle. Dr. Ed has 2 doctors, believe it or not,
Okay.
and from he came from like theology viewpoint and grief and things like that. And of course, you know my background, special education and evaluation. I came that way. One of the staff, Dawn, has early childhood teaching and biblical aspect of things. So they come with different backgrounds. And the backgrounds actually is not as important as you think. Is who they are today, their values and their view of people with intellectual disabilities. Do they consider a partnership,
Yeah.
or do they think they're better than them? And that's how we look. And yeah.
It's how they can relate and the
Yes.
personal connection they can make to the individuals.
That is correct.
Because that is what allows you to interact and help make these changes. Right,
That's
Dr. Ed?
Absolutely. In whatever situation you're in with a participant, you always remember who is most important, what are we trying to accomplish, and I don't have to win. That's really important. They have to win. And so
Right.
it may be different than what I want to do, but if they win and feel good about it, then we're fine.
Yeah. So where do these individuals find you to come to you for this?
Believe it or not, we actually don't like to be found. We want to keep a small community, but they can go through the county, the Behavioral Health County, or ODP, Office of Developmental Disabilities, and all that. Actually, it's on Queen Street. They can go through the county and say, we have individuals with disabilities that need services. And that's how one of the parents that is will be talking shortly, that's how she found us. And
Okay.
we were surprised that she found us, because after the closing didn't happen and we started to expand, she was actually the first one that came with her loved one that we
Oh,
did
wow.
intake with. Yes.
Okay.
So,
And is there a physical location?
well, we really don't have physical
Okay.
location, because communities are a location.
Okay, so you go out in, and
Yes,
that's what it is.
we have mailing address.
Okay.
And we have a physical location for respite.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes we give parents and our family
Yeah.
a break. We don't have physical location for that. But we're a community.
Okay.
Mhm.
Now there's a website as well.
Yes.
Tell us about that and what we're going to find on there.
Well, on the website, you go there, of course, you're going to see the staff and their background and their
Mm-hmm. Right.
qualification. You're going to see the activities that students do. We get involved in animals. We do art, music, coloring, painting, and things like that. And of course, we like library books. And what is fascinating about that, we have to talk to the librarians and the books we want, and go
Yes.
through the process after they have the library card and everything you and I would do. We go through that, so you see all the activities. As you can see, some of them here. This is art, and this is one of our participants before. He loves gardening,
Oh,
and
right.
this it takes a while to finish, but what we can.
Yeah.
So and that's how we go through it.
Yeah. So also there's an age on this as well, too,
Yes.
right? Adults, we're talking what age?
Well, we're talking about 18 and older.
18 and older.
Yes.
Okay, and that's what this is specifically for. So there's program focuses on Adults Day program, expressive arts, outdoor skills. I mean, all of these things come together to help with the whole person.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we do leisure too, and they have to pick their leisure activity.
Ah, okay.
And that's also another avenue for them to express, instead of somebody always telling them what they should enjoy.
Right. I think as well, they're learning, but you're learning too.
Yeah.
with
Oh
them,
yes.
Right?
Every day.
Yeah.
Every day that we interact with them. Yes.
What's one thing that you would like us to know, Dr. Ed, when we talk about interacting? Sometimes it's uncomfortable. If you're not used to being around someone that may have an intellectual disability or autism, what's something we need to remember, Dr. Ed?
It's not about me. That is a driving force in my life when I deal with people. It's not about me.
Okay.
What can I do
Yeah.
to serve them, to help them, and to make them a success?
Okay. A final thought from you, Ojoma, with
Well,
this.
almost all behaviors that are not criminal are appropriate. You just have to apply them in a right environment. If I scream right now in this moment, it's not a good environment.
Right.
But if I'm at football stadium and I scream, that's a good environment.
Right.
So that's another thing we're teaching them.
Okay.
How to do appropriate behavior in a right environment.
Okay. I am so glad you're doing what you do. Thank you for being here. We're going to take a brief pause and we're going to come back and we're going to find out so much more. Stay with us.
LCTV 66 is your community channel, and your donations keep us on the air and help to produce more local programs. Send your tax-deductible donation of $500, $100, or more to the address on the screen. Or think of it this way: for the price of a couple of movie tickets, you can help support your community channel. Send what you can and be a part of all that is good about Lancaster County. Thank you for your tax-deductible donation to LCTV 66, Lancaster's Connection.
Welcome back to Behind the Lines. We're talking about Olive Branch of Hope. And right now we are with Activities Director Dona Fleming. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
And Becky Huhn. Thank you for being here. You are mother of Ethan. And you've been working with Donna, and there's been some great things happening, right?
Yes, yes.
So you started with Olive Branch of Hope with Ethan, who is autistic. Is that correct? Can you
He
tell us a little
is.
bit about him?
Yes, he is. He is a young man who spent a lot of years in a school for kids with autism. He has a lot of abilities, and I think over the years I've realized that people that understand him and give him a chance to grow and learn are the ones that are going to be successful.
Yeah. So how did you find out about Olive Branch of Hope?
Well, I sometimes say I'm not sure how our path led us, but we have a county caseworker who talked about the program, set up an intake, and we've been going full forward ever since. I think during the intake, when they said, "What do you want for Ethan?" I said, I really want him to be safe and happy, and it's worked.
Oh, that's wonderful. And this has been a great experience for you, Donna, working with Ethan and working with Becky
Yes.
as well, right?
Yes, it has been.
Yeah.
What I love about Ethan is everywhere we go, he wants to know who that person is and asks, "Hey, what's your name?" And he's so outgoing and loving, and
Yeah.
I love that about him.
Ethan is 23, right? Okay. So you've seen him progress since you've been working with Olive Branch of Hope, right? What do you think the difference is with what happens there?
I think he knows when people care about him. He thrives when he's given the choice and some control over his life.
Okay.
He doesn't always make the best choices, but with guidance, he can do much more than what we ever thought. So he's doing great.
Such as what?
He has more language. He's
Okay.
successful in the community. He's volunteering.
Wow. What does he volunteer to do?
He works at a thrift store.
Okay.
When he's at Olive Branch.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. That's really good. So you've seen that change. So Donna, your background, I mean, you've always been involved with children and with teaching, and I think you as a person have a lot of zest for life and patience as well, too.
Yes.
And you can hone in on the individual. And what is it about Ethan? I know he's near and dear to your heart.
He is. I love that he like today, we go to the library on Tuesdays normally.
Okay.
And you don't even have to say anything to him. He says, "Can we go to the library today?"
Okay.
So knowing that he knows the days and some continuity in what we can do, because I think a lot of that is important to them to do some of the same things. It makes them feel safe and
Yeah.
but he's always willing to go bowling. He loves to go bowling.
Okay.
And it's fun to go bowling with him. He picks his ball, and I
Yes.
get up and get my ball, and then he uses my ball.
Okay, instead.
I
Okay.
think it's funny, but he enjoys it, and I love going with him.
Wow, that's great. What are misconceptions, and I know there's a lot of misconceptions out there, that you want to address that we need to know about, Becky?
I would say the potential is not always recognized, and I think these individuals can do so much. And I think there's a need, and they have the ability to have a full life, to be a part of the community, a part of the world, and it's very important.
Yeah. I would imagine, too, that you are learning and seeing things in the world differently than you would have any other way had Ethan not been in your life.
Yes.
What is it? What's that joy that you're getting out of this?
I mean, I
know.
think it's the simple things.
Yeah.
I think the small steps and the accomplishments and the successes are just huge. They just mean so much. I think also seeing how he affects other people, like
okay.
the staff, is very rewarding, and it's neat to see the connections that he's making without me there. So it's,
Oh, that's really good.
it's good.
And that's where you come in. And
Yes.
yeah, so tell us about
Yes.
that.
Well, so on days that I haven't been there, I might get a phone call
Okay.
from the director who says, "There's somebody here who wants to talk to you," because
Okay.
he knows when we're not there. He misses us, and that is very special.
Yeah. It really is, because it's that bond. And that's what you're working on building with those personal connections as well. So the other thing, too, that I think we need to know and need to address, and your help with this will be great, for those of us who are not sure how to reach out or how to communicate or what to look for, what do we need to know to interact?
I mean, everyone's different, but it does help to watch a parent or a sibling interact and see how they address a child or an adult with disabilities, because they know them best. And
Okay.
when they're with Olive Branch, you'd be watching the staff.
Okay.
How do they address them?
Okay, so what are some of the ways that you address? What's something typical, let's say, with Ethan?
I mean, with Ethan, hi, how are you?
Okay.
What's your name? He likes to talk about his day. He likes to talk about the schedule, his staff, his family, things like that.
Okay. And you work with a lot of different people too, don't you, Donna? Yeah, there's a variety of different people. So
Yes, I do.
you also have a different language, as it were, with each person that you work with. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, sometimes you have to just know how they perceive your questions.
Okay.
And let them be in charge instead of telling them what to do.
Okay.
Giving them choices. Ask them what they want to do. And sometimes you have to do that a couple times.
Okay.
Because they might often take the first choice that you give them because that's what they're hearing. But if you switch the question around, they might choose something different. So you just have to learn what they like and ask the right questions to them.
Okay. So it's very much about being in the moment, isn't it? And getting rid of, and it's hard sometimes, we're all multitasking, right? But to really be in the moment. And I think that's probably one of the things that you experience on a daily basis with Ethan, too.
Yeah.
You do get to be in the moment with him
Yeah,
and experience.
Yeah, when he's focused on something, nothing else matters. When he needs help or assistance, it's often immediate. And like I said, really the small things are the joys that he brings to all our lives.
Yeah. And if somebody's watching and they may have someone in their life that they believe could possibly benefit from this, what would you say or what would you encourage them about?
I think contact your county caseworker. Start there, visit and do an intake, and just reach out and look around and see what's out there, because sitting at home on the couch following graduation, sadly, is the fate of many people with disabilities. But being a part of the world and the community is so important.
It is. And what is involved in an intake?
It's really just social interaction.
Okay.
It's really just kind of talking about needs. I know the staff, including Ojoma, did a lot of observation and saw things I wouldn't have noticed.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's all of those things put together. And boy, that gives you more of a clarity too, didn't it, with your son, to be able to see what she's seeing.
Yeah.
Wow. That probably lit a light bulb for you too, didn't
Yes,
it?
just to hear the feedback, what he can do, how he's doing, the way he's communicating and progressing. It's amazing.
Yeah. It is amazing with Ethan. What else? I know you were talking about bowling with him. So there are other activities, and you are the activities director. What are some of these other things that you have and you do and that you've seen?
Well, we went to the fair and their interaction with the animals.
Okay.
They like animals. We go to that fish place. It's one of Ethan's favorite places to go.
Okay, right.
But it happens to be most of their favorite places. They all like that. And letting them take their time, walk with them, try to interact with them about what they're seeing, and ask them what their favorite one is. Let's see, Going Bananas. I think that's the name of it.
That is the name
They
of that
love
place.
that.
They do.
They
Okay.
do. They do love
All
that.
right.
We do art projects with them, play games.
Right.
And Ethan is great at memory.
Oh, wow. That's very good.
He's great at memory.
Okay.
And that's one of his favorite games. And a bingo, in a way.
Okay.
A bingo that we play with them. Yeah.
Okay.
Uno, just interact with them that way. And in the summertime, swimming.
Yeah. A lot of things being out in nature, connecting with nature and animals, and just
Yes.
being stimulated
Right, right.
in some way, shape, or form.
We take walks to where these chickens are kept. And the one time I had some flip-flops on, and the chicken came after my toes. And that just, they loved that. So,
I'm sure.
I made sure to try to do that again without getting pecked.
Right,
but,
without getting pecked, yes.
yeah, they love that. They
Okay.
like to walk and
All right.
and look at nature. Yeah.
Yeah. I know, as a final thought, I would just like to ask you too, Donna, what does it mean to you to be involved with Olive Branch of Hope?
It's wonderful, because I would say that I would have been one of those people that would be standoffish, not rude, but not knowing how to interact. And the reason I love what Ethan does when he asks people their name is because I can see myself in maybe have been going to the other side of the room and not wanting to answer, but realizing that they know exactly what they're doing.
Okay.
And they are people and humans. And
Yeah.
Ojoma has
Yeah.
really taught me that they are one of God's blessings.
Final thought from you, Becky.
I think the program has given us hope. We're very thankful
Yeah.
for all that Ethan's learning and doing.
And that's all a part of the name, Olive Branch of Hope. Thank you for all that you do, and thank you for sharing Ethan's story. That's very exciting. It really is. Thank you. Thank you for joining us today, too. I'm Diane Dayton with Behind the Lines, reminding you to look behind the lines. You might be surprised what you find.